One question that I'm frequently asked is, what vaccines does my dog actually need? That's really split into core vaccines and lifestyle vaccines. The core vaccines is somewhat dependent upon your area, in that here we consider leptospirosis a core vaccine. We will give it to every dog coming through the hospital. There are some hospitals that consider it more of a lifestyle vaccine though, so that's something that will be individual to your veterinarian. The other core vaccines that are worth paying attention to are the distemper, parvo, adenovirus, and rabies. Lifestyle vaccines are Lyme's, rattlesnake, which will be something that you want to get if your dog is outdoors a lot, and around rattlesnakes in the case of rattlesnake, or around a lot of ticks in the case of Lyme disease. If your dog is grooming a lot and in an area where they're around a lot of other strange dogs, such as at dog parks or boarding, then lifestyle vaccines you would want to consider are Bordetella and canine influenza. The Bordetella is the bacterial portion of the kennel cough. These vaccines also have parainfluenza in them, which is one of the primary viral components to the kennel cough syndrome. So there's often a question about over-vaccinating your dog. We never want to over-vaccinate. We want to vaccinate enough to protect the animal and enough to know that if they come across the disease, they're not going to get sick from it. In this case, with this in mind, when you're vaccinating your pets, you want to start your puppies when they're about 6 weeks of age. And every 3 to 4 weeks until they're older than 16 weeks, you want to continue vaccinating them for distemper and parvo. The reason for that is because parvovirus is a very, very deadly disease that they can get by walking across something that carries the virus. It's very easily transmitted. And when they drink their milk from their mom, they're initially protected. The very first milk that they get is called colostrum, and it protects them initially. As they age, they drop off that colostrum milk that they get, and they become susceptible to the disease. We don't know when that drops off to that point though, and the vaccines allow us to continue keeping their antibodies up in their system until we know that they're protected and healthy. Once you've got that vaccine in their system and you've got that 16-week, you'll want to boost it in a year. And then most cases now, most places will boost every 3 years for the distemper and parvoviruses, because we know that they have long immunity in the system and we don't want to over-vaccinate your pets. We want to make sure that they're healthy. Rabies is very similar in that between the ages of 12 weeks and 6 months, you'll get your first vaccine. You'll boost it in a year, and then every 3 years in most cases, although there are some state and regional differences, you will boost the vaccine and make sure that they keep protected from there. Many of the regional or lifestyle vaccines have not been studied, and so we will continue boosting those on either an annual basis, or in some cases, such as the rattlesnake antitoxoid vaccine, the immunity to toxins decreases rapidly in the system after a vaccine. And so if you are in a place where you have a heavy rattlesnake load, you're actually going to want to vaccinate that pet twice a year.